Here's more wrestling news for September 15th, 2022, and we're starting off with AEW, as last night's Dynamite saw Jon Moxley take a big step to become a four-time AEW World Champion, defeating Sammy Guevara in the World Title Tournament semifinals. Moxley has been one of AEW's biggest stars since joining in 2019, and one person who's seen that firsthand is Chris Jericho. It was Jericho who Moxley dethroned to win his first AEW World title, and while speaking on Talk is Jericho, Y2J had nothing but praise for his former nemesis. That's a guy who was not even close to living up to his full potential. You can see that now. Moxley now is so much better and bigger than he ever was as Dean Ambrose. Jericho feuded with Dean Ambrose, Moxley's WWE persona, back in 2016, and while they did break out thumbtacks for their feud, it was certainly nowhere near as aggressive as what we've seen in AEW. Moxley already has the most AEW World titles to his name, with 2 World Championships and 1 interim World title run, but we'll have to see if he can add another win to his record next week on Dynamite. During last night's show, fans were treated to clips from Darby Allin's stunt performance at the Nitro Circus Tour, but now the former TNT champion has a match booked. After the clip, Matt Hardy appeared to praise Allin's work and referenced none other than Team Extreme. Matt commended Darby with his extreme stunts and his extreme work in the ring before challenging him to a match for this Friday's Rampage. Not only did Matt make the challenge and reference Team Extreme, but he also made a reference to my brother, obviously Jeff, and footage of Jeff Hardy was also shown. Given that Jeff is currently suspended without pay due to his DUI arrest earlier this year, it was certainly interesting for the charismatic Enigma to get a mention on last night's Dynamite. Right now, there's no word on when, if ever, Jeff will be back, but right now, Matt will have to remain focused on Darby Allin when they face off tomorrow night. In WWE, few superstars have been as dominant as Roman Reigns, with today marking day 746 of his tenure as Universal Champion. Even before his transformation into the Tribal Chief, Reigns could often be found headlining WWE events, but success has not always come so easy. Before coming to WWE, Reigns tried to make it in the NFL, being an off-season and practice squad member for the Minnesota Vikings and later the Jacksonville Jaguars. Speaking to Logan Paul on his Impulsive podcast, Reigns was critical of his own NFL run, branding himself a failure. I didn't come in as a Logan Paul or you know what I mean. I came in as an ex-failed football player who had to go to a warehouse and figure it out, and they brought us in as a group as the Shield early on. Then once I started finding those broad strokes, the basics of how to A, wrestle, and B, wrestle on television, you know what I mean, and all those details that you're learning that come with that. Football may not have gone as Roman Reigns had wanted, but he would find a new passion with pro wrestling, which given the success he's had and continues to have, was the right call for the head of the table. Each year, Pro Wrestling Illustrated lists their top 500 wrestlers, and there's always controversy over who will be number 1. Of course, only one wrestler can lay claim to being the number 1 star, and this year, that accolade belongs to Roman Reigns. This marks Reigns' second time as number 1, while Kazuchika Okada took second place, CM Punk placed third, and Hangman Adam Page came fourth. Given how dominant Reigns has been, it's hard to argue with his status as the number 1 pick, as there's still no sign of the undisputed WWE Universal Champion losing his title anytime soon. The PWI list celebrates the top 500 wrestlers in the world, but not everyone can get a spot that fans feel they deserve. While Seth Rollins had an impressive 12 months, he didn't make the top 5 or even the top 10, a decision that fans have taken issue with. On social media, fans berated the rankings for not putting the Visionary higher, with some noting that Jon Moxley didn't make the top 10 either. Ultimately, the decisions on who ranks in what place are made based on several factors, but if Rollins can become the US champion next week as he plans, that'll be a big step in cracking the top 10 for next year's rankings. Over the past few weeks, NXT security guard Hank Walker has been butting heads with Big Body Javi, culminating in the guard getting a match this week. Not only did Hank get a match, but he also got a win, much to the delight of the crowd, and he now has an NXT Superstar contract to his name. In the behind-the-scenes video, Walker can be seen celebrating with his friends, and Shawn Michaels appeared to offer him an official contract with the brand. Walker has been a member of the NXT security team for several weeks now, but he has already worked on 2 TV matches, losing to Stax Lorenzo and Duke Hudson on episodes of NXT Level Up before his big win this week. The guard-turned-superstar was signed by WWE back in March after competing as an NCAA All-Conference offensive lineman at North Carolina State, and we'll be seeing plenty more of Hank Walker in the ring. More from NXT now, as next week's show has already been filmed in advance, but the taping last night didn't go well for one wrestler. Ringside News has learned that during the tapings for next week, Tony D'Angelo suffered a head injury after hitting the turnbuckle, and the match was stopped abruptly. D'Angelo was helped out by the medical team, and this injury comes after he and Channing Stax Lorenzo squared off against Cameron Grimes and Joe Gacy this past Tuesday in a losing effort. WWE may not air the footage of D'Angelo and could scrap the match altogether, and will continue to monitor this situation as more information comes out. For a year, Austin Theory has been a regular feature on Monday Night Raw, with many rightly considering the Money in the Bank briefcase holder a future WWE World Champion. As of late, Theory has been feuding with Kevin Owens, who claims that the young superstar has been handed opportunities, an accusation that Theory denies. Speaking about Owens on Raw Talk, Mr. Money in the Bank said he hasn't been handed opportunities and made a compelling argument. Kevin Owens wants to unveil that I'm just handed opportunities. Let me take you back down memory lane. The Elimination Chamber? I beat Kevin Owens to get into the Elimination Chamber. What happened there? I was the only man in that chamber left with Brock Lesnar. And then, when I became the youngest United States champion, I defended against a man that has done so many things, so many championships. Finn Balor, I beat him straight up. I'm tired of people trying to downplay my achievements like I haven't busted my ass. I'm the future, and the future is right in front of you, and that is A-Town down. Theory may have been something of a protege both on and off screen to Vince McMahon, but with the ex-chairman gone, Theory is hungry to prove himself as his own man. With a guaranteed world title match to his name, it appears to be just a matter of time before Theory is WWE's next top star, but for now, the cocky heel has his hands full with Kevin Owens. Now, Mike Tyson is considered a legend in boxing, having taken out several opponents, and it's well known that he is a huge pro wrestling fan. As previously reported, Tyson and Ric Flair are teaming up for a new cannabis line, and the two recently had some fun with fans. As seen in a clip on Instagram, the two-time WWE Hall of Famer and the boxing legend could be seen smoking it up with fans who were thrilled to be in the presence of two sporting legends. Tyson's 2.0 cannabis company has acquired a major stake in Ric Flair's Drip Inc. company, and we'll have to see where their partnership goes next. When WWE inducted Chyna into the Hall of Fame in 2019, it was a long time coming, even if she entered as part of DX. Chyna had been a pioneer in the company, but for years had been ignored by the promotion, partly due to her rocky breakup with Triple H during the Attitude Era. Rumor has it that Triple H and Stephanie began seeing each other in real life when he was still dating Chyna, and this apparently led to a very tense standoff. On the latest edition of Click This, WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash opened up about Chyna's reaction when she learned about Stephanie and Triple H being romantically involved. There was some tension. I think Joni said that she was going to end Stephanie's life. Thankfully, this didn't happen, but a lot has been said about the relationship, as Chyna's former manager Anthony Anzaldo told Wrestling Inc. They were engaged, Triple H and Chyna. He never gave her a ring, but Triple H gave Stephanie a ring. But it was all part of the storyline, but it was real life. So that's when Chyna started to go, "Is this real?" And he's like, "Why are you saying that? Don't accuse me." As few of times as they're actually home together in New Hampshire at their house over the course of 365 days, maybe 8 days, she goes to his briefcase and picked the lock and found a letter from Stephanie professing her love, approaches Hunter, and proceeds to get into World War III. When Triple H was asked about Chyna's exclusion from WWE, he would defend the decision, saying that her history in pornography made a Hall of Fame induction impossible, despite people like Tammy Sytch having been inducted. Now it's too late for Chyna to ever get a chance to return to WWE, as she died in April of 2016 in one of the saddest losses to the wrestling world. Last year, Andrade El Idolo joined AEW after a run in WWE, with reigns as NXT and United States Champion to his name. Both in AEW and WWE, Andrade has no shortage of moves up his repertoire, but one attack you won't see from him is a spinning elbow. When a fan recently tweeted a gif of Andrade hitting a spinning elbow on Johnny Gargano, El Idolo responded with a tweet of his own, saying he's no longer allowed to do that particular move. No explanation has been given for the ban, but a theory going around is that he's not allowed to hit the spinning elbow due to its resemblance to Chris Jericho's Judas Effect finisher. Whatever the reason, Andrade has wowed fans for years with his in-ring ability, but for the time being at least, the spinning elbow is off limits to the former NXT champion. Back to AEW, as Tony Khan is immensely proud of his promotion and can usually be found praising the success of Dynamite and Rampage in the ratings. Khan has never shied away from taking aim at WWE when it comes to battling for viewers, but he's not ready to go head-to-head with the NFL. This week, when Khan was again touting the success of Dynamite in the ratings, a fan responded saying they'd like to see how AEW would go if they took on Monday Night Football. In response, Khan was quick to dismiss the idea, pointing out that he has family ties with the NFL, and with the use of a gif from The Godfather, said he would never go against the family. Khan is of course referring to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is owned by his father Shahid Khan, and the team that Tony works with as their chief football strategy officer. If AEW ever went up against the might of Monday Night Football, odds are they would be crushed by the show, which averages millions more viewers each week than Khan gets, so don't expect a Monday Night Dynamite to ever be aired. We've got an update from Jim Duggan, who has let fans know how he's feeling after his recent battle with cancer. It was in March that Duggan announced that the cancer he had once beaten had returned, but informed fans in August that he was once again cancer-free. Speaking to Wrestling Inc., Duggan said he now feels 100% again and is grateful he didn't have to undergo chemotherapy. Duggan also encouraged people to get cancer screenings because early detection can be the difference between life and death. We're thrilled to see Hacksaw is doing well again, and hopefully his most recent battle with cancer is the last time Duggan will have to win this fight. And we're ending with Mandy Rose, who has become one of the most dominant NXT Women's Champions of all time, having held the title for close to a year now. Rose hasn't just conquered the ring in NXT, but is making her name in the world of business, already owning a donut company with Sonya Deville. Now the NXT Women's Champion has announced her newest venture, a workout program with ex-NXT superstar and real-life boyfriend Tino Sabatelli. Mandy and Sabatelli's program promises a 6-week transformation and includes nutrition and workout plans, as well as live sessions with the duo, all for $49. With Rose closing in on 1 year as champion, there's no sign of her losing the title soon, but now the leader of Toxic Attraction will also be kept busy with her new business. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.